This series started with a video. Well, there has been events before that almost had compelled me, but this one did take me over the edge. In this series, we will watch some really cringy and stupid videos together. Some of them I have already debunked on other videos. For some, debunking wouldn't take long, and some doesn't need any debunking, it's just pure stupid. At the end, I promise I will have something for you to take up the bitter taste of your mouth. With that being said, we're all stupid, we're all going to die.
Y'all are sitting there breathing freely, building your immune systems without masks. How disgusting, how shameful, how criminal, how corrupt. This is a hoax. It's a fraud. There's nobody dying in excess of any other year in the last decade. Are you aware of that? Stop listening to absolute charlatan doctors like this Dr. Chow, who I wouldn't go...
Your time is up. Thank you. Next speaker, please.
And how stupid. I mean, seriously, we have concrete data showing us how we have a lot more death due to this pandemic. It's not even up for debate. I have already debunked this. Link to this and all other debunking would be in the description below.
You're telling me that I have to breathe in CO2 when God gave this body the ability to extract that from my body, and now you want me to put it back in my body.
Do you think she'd understand the irony if I point out to her that she's wearing glasses? And I bet she cooks her food. Mask and CO2 have already been debunked in other video.
I have natural rights as a sovereign citizen of the United States.
Your time is up.
Holy sugar. She's a sovereign citizen. Dang. So for those who are blissfully unaware of this set of morons called sovereign citizen, in a nutshell, they think government laws do not apply to them, they don't pay taxes, and what they're most known for, and what annoys me most, is they drive without license and insurance. If I ran over someone, I can never pay for the physical trauma, but at least my insurance would cover some of the financial hardship for that person. If these dingbats ran someone over, well, I guess they would just drive away? Oops, my mistake. They don't drive, they travel. And thus they think they don't need to follow driving laws. By the way, does she remind anyone of those people standing during next to the speakers doing the sign language? I don't know sign language, but if any of my viewers do, please let me know if she's actually doing the correct gesture or just waving her hands around.
People are now able to commit crimes while fully shielding their faces from sight.
Well, Miss Obvious, what is your point? I bet she'd have a problem with hijabs as well.
I begin with the question, are you smarter than a fifth grader? I remember teaching my own fifth graders about the respiratory system. These 10-year-olds understood the most basic important element needed by the human body is oxygen. So I ask you, why in the name of science and health would you require people, especially children, to wear a mask only to rebreathe the waste product the body wants to get rid of?
This guy irks me. He's irksome. My biggest beef with him is, he's a bloody teacher. So first, yes, I think I'm smarter than a fifth grader. Mostly because I have accumulated a lot more data and knowledge over time. We have something called lie to children method, which really means a simplified explanation of technical or complex subject as a teaching method for children or lay people. As this guy isn't a child, allow me to treat him as a lay person. Dear sir, once again, you're not rebreathing your waste. You should really watch my video titled Busting Surgical Mask and CO2 Hoax. Shameless plug there.
Making our children wear masks is contrary to the medical experts, and it's fundamentally wrong. They need to be exposed to bacteria in the air, playing on jungle gyms. Kids need sunlight, exercise, interaction, youth sports, and prayer without masks. If you deny them that, in 20 years, you're going to have a population of immunosuppressed, antisocial adults who can only interact via Zoom and FaceTime and need gloves to shake your hand.
First of all, where are these medical experts? And she actually has the gall to say it's fundamentally wrong to protect our children? We haven't seen anything like this in our lifetime. And they need prayers? What? That's Darwin for social childcare.
I have been discriminated 5 times in the last 2 days. I have been actually turned away. I cannot go in these businesses without a mask, even though I have a health condition.
There is a similar incident that we'll see later on. I'll save my rants for that.
These children need to be back on the field, not in 2 weeks, now. As you can see, Taylor's got a soccer uniform on, and we're still not playing soccer.
And Taylor's jersey says Diego Maradona. And he's still not Diego Maradona. Sorry for my super old reference. I don't follow football. And I think the last names I remember is Bebeto and Romario. Oh yeah, sports. Yahoo! Forget the pandemic.
Guys, it's over. Like, really? Like, you know? I mean, are we still talking about this? Like, it's over, you know, this lockdown. I mean, you're looking at numbers and data, and, you know, I go to a resort, nobody's wearing a mask. Then I come here, everybody's wearing a mask. I go to a protest, nobody's
Thank
wearing a
you.
mask.
Your time is up.
This one, I honestly don't know what to say. That could have been me in a very sarcastic manner. I just don't think she's being sarcastic here. Do you?
He went and fought where, Dad? Where did you fight?
What's that?
Where did you fight?
In the Philippine Islands in World War II.
And his fight was for your freedom, my freedom, his freedom, and everybody that's here today.
I would have loved to see what point he was making after parading his dad around. If I were to guess, he would be saying that with the lockdown, there is no freedom. I feel sorry for the dad though.
I don't know if you guys are robots or whatnot. So please stop imposing Chinese communism tactics. This is America. We need our essential bread. If you're not human, please join Elon Musk on his trip to Mars. And vote for our breath. Please, let us breathe.
Yeah, those Chinese communist robots don't need any bread. But seriously, I can understand some of us in the science community have our beef with Elon. But for the life of me, I can't figure out what her beef is. Do you think she followed the whole Elon debacle with the British driver in Thailand? And really, am I missing something here? Are they wearing something that stops breathing? Take that damn plastic bag off your head, is what I should be saying. Thankfully, that was the last clip from that event. Moving on.
That was probably 45 minutes of having it on. It's the first time I've worn one. I am disoriented. I'm a little mad, if you can't tell that already. Like, I'm frustrated, but I don't feel good physically. Like, I can tell you right now, I wasn't getting enough oxygen, and I just had on one of these little stupid things. I feel dizzy. My hands are kind of tingly. My heart is beating fast. So some of it's an emotional reaction, but some of it's a physical reaction.
Well, unless you're a doctor, that's your opinion, right? I mean, blaming it on the lack of oxygen. Now, we know that an emotional reaction can manifest into a physical reaction, right?
I understand the virus is real, okay? I understand the virus is real. Friends, look at the numbers and tell me why everybody's living in fear. Tell me why we're putting these things on and not being able to breathe. I just want to cry. Like, that's all I want to do is cry, because you can't see people's faces. You can't make human connection. We can't hug people. We can't hold their babies.
Seriously, she's crying because she can't hold other people's baby? Is that a very middle-aged female thing to do?
This doesn't make sense, and I'm not okay with it. Nothing about what we're doing is supported by the numbers that are out there.
Seriously, how come I'm not seeing any of these numbers that apparently supports her claim? Is there some kind of white female-only numbers available that me being a man is not allowed to view? Sheesh. I do feel sorry for her though. One more masked videos and that's it. I promise.
Not allowing any customer or employee inside the store without a mask of some sort of kind.
Okay, so I need to talk to a manager
I
because...
will absolutely humbly go get a manager
Yeah.
for you. If you'd like to take it with me for
Awesome.
just a moment. If not, we can provide you with one.
I'm not wearing a mask.
Okay, understood. Allow me
Perfect.
just a moment and I'll
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, this will be a long clip, but I do have a reason. My comment at this point would be, she has this planned. Note how the camera panned around as the events unfold. Starting from showing the shop name to how she moves so the shopping cart wouldn't be in view. I'm guessing it's on a mobile phone. With that, even more kudos to her for some nice camera work. You do have to understand that she is not looking at the viewfinder. That explains why heads get chopped off at times. Come on, cut her some slack. Anyone who used a wearable GoPro know exactly what I'm talking about.
Hi. Hi, I have a medical condition that I'm not allowed to wear a mask and I'm not required by HIPAA rules and regulations to disclose that. So, what does that look like? I have private things I want to get that maybe I don't want you to see.
But I can't let you in the store without a mask.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that's the discrimination. That's the word that's been thrown around way too lot nowadays. A business has a right to deny service to a patron. A display of prized good is merely an offer to treat, to negotiate a deal, and that's all. However, it's important to ensure that this is not discriminatory. Discrimination includes issues such as gender, sexuality, ethnicity, religion, or disability, which are all protected characteristics. With that being said, should I go commando to my local Sainsbury's and they refuse my entry, can I call it discriminatory? In France, chest and private parts must be covered except near bathing zones. From Article 222-32, publicly visible sexual exhibition in public zones, punishable by 1 year of imprisonment and €15,000 fine. Is that discriminatory? No. Now, if one does really have a medical condition where they're not allowed to wear a mask, well, a normal human being would approach the situation without a camera drawn and would explain it to an employee to come to some agreement. I think I smell bullshit. I'm also confused about these private things. Maybe it's just because I'm a guy. So what's the private things to me? Well, it can be adult publication, in which case I would need an employee to authorize my purchase, same as buying alcohol. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, something like cold sore can be embarrassing. Not that I would know, but one can buy that cream without going to the chemist. I'm pretty sure it doesn't have an age restriction. Even with that, what do? Wait until no one is around when picking it off the shelf? Reminds me the first time I bought condom. I waited around until there was no one else in the shop except the cashier, and even then I felt embarrassed. Unless she is using self-checkout like we have in UK. The manager even offered to shop for her stuff. I mean, seriously, what else can you ask for?
This is Shelly Lewis. I'm at Dana Point, Gelson. So if anybody who if anybody wants to shop here, you have to have a mask, and here is the policy, which state that they will shop for me.
At least one can treat this as a helpful message. She's telling everyone what they should already know. This shop even has a notice explaining that.
But you're pretty chipper. You're pretty chipper. Huh? You're happy?
Why not be?
Why are you happy?
Normally I'm a bartender and I wouldn't have a job.
Yeah.
That's the crux of it. Why are other people happy? Hey, wait. I understand her. We're like two peas in a pod. She ends up getting the corporate number and leaves, without the items that she was there to get.
Alright? Oh my God. We have so many people here that's enjoying themselves. Okay? This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the last part. Now what are you doing? Now what are you doing? Hey sweetheart, there's kids here. There's kids here. There's kids here. There's kids. Oh. You should have some respect, sweetheart. Please. Thank you. Could you please leave? Could you please leave? Please.
Okay, so this is a clip from New Orleans. Damn, I so want to visit that place. It's definitely on my bucket list. From what I read, apparently she was protesting as these street performers are taking away customers from the artist selling stuff. I did some street performance, and one thing I'll tell you, it's not easy. It's nerve-wracking when you first start, and it's nerve-wracking even when you are a pro. You never know what a heckler might do. These guys handled it really well. This went over 6 minutes. There was even a spectator pleading with this woman, even trying to give her some money so she would leave. At the end, after a lot of boos and jeers from the audience, police officer did manage to coax her to leave the area. Let's enjoy that scene.
I looked it up in my system, but unfortunately I'm not coming across any of Paul Sheldon's books that we have here in the store. Would you like to see if I can order one for you, possibly?
Oh, you should have them here. He's very popular.
Well, we're probably
Paul
just sold.
Sheldon?
Most likely just sold out.
Misery. Have you ever read the Misery novels? They're very good.
I'm not familiar with Misery. I'm more of a history kind of guy.
How can you not know Misery? You work here.
Come on, give the guy a break. According to a Reddit user who laid all the math down perfectly, there are roughly 3,153 books in an average bookstore. Of course, this varies from place to place and doesn't take into account books in the stockroom, shelves that may have doubled up on thinner books, or the technical increase in more books being within the store due to customers or staff bringing in books they own, thus technically increasing the amount of books in the store. Between us, I can blame someone for not knowing every item in that store. And if the employee didn't know the author, who I was as passionate as this lady seems to be, well, I would be gushing all about that author to that person.
I really need that to complete my collection, and I really think you need to have that here. Misery.
I don't have it in the store, but I could probably order it for you.
I'm not interested in waiting.
Would you like me to send
I've
it to you?
already waited a long time for the paperback to come out. Paul Sheldon.
She waited a long time for the paperback. I was honestly expecting her to say that she waited a long time for the author to write the book. Now, I'm not going to search for the title, but I do have a book named Misery. In fact, there was even a movie about it. And as for Stephen King's work go, I rate this as number 2, just after Shawshank Redemption.
Isn't anybody familiar with the Misery books? I'm telling you, how could any of you be in a bookstore when you don't
Okay, fine, that is me. I feel the same way about a bunch of authors. Oh, I love that passion. All jokes aside, so far what we have seen are, well, pretty much civil meltdown. But the following did infuriate me and is so far from civil that it can't even be seen. You have been warned.
I just put non-fat milk in there, ma'am.
No, I don't taste the whole. It literally tastes like you put sugar. Like it tastes like sugar. I know what non-fat milk tastes like.
I can remake it.
I come here every single day. And it's always non-fat. This is not non-fat.
I can remake it if you want.
Why? Just so everyone understand, I would feel the same way even if it was the Bengali guy in that scenario. This is no way to treat a fellow human being. I hope this person does get caught and brought to justice. What I do find weird is, does this barista have so many of this weird encounter that she puts a camera on? Part of me hopes that this is not real.
Hello everyone. I have a very important message for you all today. I'm sure by now most of you have heard about the negative effects of Wi-Fi and the 5G network. It's carcinogenic. It can cause cancer.
No, it's not. No, it doesn't. Fine. I will do a debunked video on this whole 5G and health risk hoax. But until then, just take my word for it. Oh, the irony in that statement.
So we are exposed to massive amounts of radiation every day. But I have the answer for you. It's called the Zorb, and it looks like this. It absorbs 91% of the negative effects of radiation that surround us all the time. You can put it on baby monitors even, smart TVs, routers, laptops, tablets, your cell phone. So stay safe, protect yourself and your loved ones. Get the Zorb. Go to KristannaLoken.com and shop the Zorb in my mall today. Stay healthy, everyone.
So, I started on a script debunking this last week. Without being too technical, my idea was to point out, number one, Wi-Fi doesn't cause cancer. That is from years and years of collected data. Number two, suppose it is true. Then, if you put a shield around it to absorb the radiation by 91%, which in this example is the signal, aren't you in essence cutting the signal down by 91%? So in essence, if you're being able to get online 10 meters away from your router, now you're only able to get online 1 meter away. Anyway, during writing my script, Thunderfoot released a video debunking Zorb. You know what I do when Thunderfoot releases a debunked video? I get the popcorn. Well, technically, I get tea, as I'm not fond of popcorn unless it's the KFC variant. Thunderfoot will do a cleaner debunk than I ever possibly can. Link in the description below. Well, that was the last clip for this video. Now, I didn't forget my promise to you at the beginning. So without further ado, something to clap about.
Okay, just had my first Karen encounter. Lady called the cops because some kids were playing in a bouncy house and they were screaming too loud, like, okay, Karen, go back in your house and stop calling the cops for stupid crap like that. Let the kids play. They're kids. Seriously? Like, you don't have anything else better to do in quarantine than make me come out and risk contracting a virus because you don't want kids to play and have fun? Okay, Karen.
For those who thinks that the person who actually called the cop is named Karen, well, I applaud your ignorance. As someone once said, ignorance is bliss. Really, you don't want me to explain what Karen is. Let's just end it on a happy note, shall we? As you might have noticed that this is quite a new channel, and during this genesis, comments and subscribe counts a lot more than usual. If you have enjoyed this content, I would implore you to like this video. and maybe post a comment to feed YouTube algorithm. You can even be a superstar and subscribe as well. If you dislike this video, please give me a thumbs down and maybe take your time to tell me why in the comments below. You will find similar contents in my other videos. That's all. Have a safe day. Signing off.